For students that have put in all of their time and dedication into getting a college education, all of that can disappear so easily if ICE is granted the command of being able to restrict international students from continuing their dreams. There are many students who may understand this as they may have family or friends who are under the visa to go to school here in the United States. For those who may want to listen, for those who don't may want to listen, as it does hurt those who may not have the same opportunity that you do because they were not born as a U.S. citizen. I have read many articles and I have seen the news cover many stories on this ICE topic. My research, it seems, never ended because I wanted to dig deep into why ICE wants this to happen so badly. I will discuss when ICE made the announcement about the international students not being able to continue school if it remains online. Then I will talk about how ICE raiding jobs affects young students who are no longer in the care of their parents due to being detained after a raid at their job site. And I will talk about what some schools are doing to help the international students and why ICE is in the wrong for doing this. ICE made the first ever announcement on July 6, 2020, that international students must leave the U.S. if their school is extensively online. The ICE administration forbids anyone with an F1 or M1 visa who is enrolled in a school offering only online classes to remain in the United States through the fall semester. According to the article, ICE announced international students must leave the U.S. if their school is extensively online. It stated that ICE announced students will be forced to depart the country or take other measures, such as transferring to a school with in-person instruction in order to retain their lawful status. These students could continue to take online classes from their home countries, but their return home won't be easy due to travel restrictions, safety risks, financial barriers, and many other obstacles that they could run into, all due to ICE taking away what they worked hard to achieve already. According to the article, ICE threatens to deport or bar international students if schools move classes online due to pandemic. An international student named Jean Ren had this to say. With the research nature of my degree as a PH student, I should remain in the United States for academic purposes. I must teach undergraduate courses next semester. I find it impossible to do it in China, a country without free internet, for online classes, for delivering all my lectures at 3 a.m. So if I don't take online courses, I cannot fulfill other research obligations by my degree. Isn't that something? This man who has worked hard to get to where he is today may have to give up his dream all at the demands of ICE, not allowing him to finish his degree to go on to the next chapter. It's as if he's limited on his actions for the upcoming semester. Imagine how all these students are feeling currently because of the change that's going around. There are so many young students who have parents that are not U.S. citizens, and to not have them return home after a long day at work is hard to imagine. The government has left many school districts scrambling to care for the collateral damage of children with no parents to go home to. According to the article ICE Raids Send Schools Scrambling, it stated, the food processing industry drives the economy there, with 3 major companies operating plants. U.S. immigration officials raided 7 plants Wednesday in the Jackson area, arresting 680 mostly Latino workers. In the largest workplace raid in at least a decade, the event has an outsized impact on the community. This is just crazy. I mean, if ICE truly thinks that this is the answer to all their problems, then they're wrong, because look at how it's affecting the community. One day it could affect yours. These raids have affected 15 Scott County families and somewhere between 30 to 35 students in kindergarten through 12th grade, and 150 students remain absent following those raids at local companies. Superintendent of Scott County School District Tony McGee stated it was devastating to see students crying and upset as they gathered their family members together to see that was not only hurtful to the child but fearful to the staff. Parents picking up children and how they embraced them when they arrived was something like you saw on TV. I went home and hugged my child. This to me is heartbreaking to imagine because I could never think to see the day of ever seeing children cry after being told they may never see their parents again. I'm talking about every kid from kindergarten to 12th grade because no child should ever have to think about leaving their parent or parents again. Maybe some hope can be shed on this absurd act, as Harvard and MIT have sued immigration services over the decision to withdraw visas from foreign students whose courses move fully online. Harvard and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology are standing behind their students and have sued the Trump administration, seeking to block a directive that would strip foreign college students of their visas if the courses they take this far are entirely online. According to the article, Harvard and MIT sued to stop Trump visa rules for foreign students. It stated that in the lawsuit it said the effect and perhaps even the goal is to create chaos for universities and international students as possible. This is exactly what the ICE administration is trying to do because Trump wants all the schools to be open for fall semester. According to the article, Harvard, MIT sue immigration officials overrule blocking some international students. It stated that Trump has been pushing hard for schools to reopen in the fall despite the surge in spread of the coronavirus that has seen a number of states reporting record caseloads recently. Kenneth Cuccinelli, the acting deputy secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, stated that the agency has given more flexibility for international students already, and that if they're not going to be a student or they're going to be 100% online, they don't have the basis to be here. They should go home and then they can return when the school reopens. What is the big deal of international students being here? International students who want to make a difference in the world should not have to leave. They should be able to take online courses just like the other students. In closing, students that have put in all of their time and dedication into getting a college education, it's not right that all of that can disappear so easily if ICE is granted the command of being able to restrict international students from continuing their dreams. I have discussed when ICE made the announcement about the international students not being able to continue school if it remains online. I've also talked about how ICE raiding jobs affects young students who are no longer in the care of their parents due to being detained after a raid at their job site. And I've talked about what some schools are doing to help their international students and why ICE is in the wrong for doing this. ICE cannot pass this decision that they intend on sticking to if schools decide to stay online for fall semester. This isn't right. And imagine all those international students who have paid a full tuition, they can't get a refund. How about all those young students whose parents they didn't get to see again because they were arrested and may be deported back to their home country? It's all a shame to me that ICE and the Trump administration has nothing better to do but harass those poor families and those hopeful international students.